Oui, ça faut le supprimer ça. Bonjour. Ouais, voilà, ça fonctionne. On se retrouve aujourd'hui pour la suite de nos aventures dans l'Ouest sauvage. Je vais retirer mon retour parce que ça sera mieux, sinon je vais m'énerver. Le son est excessivement fort. Ah oui, mais je suis bête. Pas de son du jeu. On va baisser un peu. Et maintenant, qu'est-ce que ça dit? Bon, voilà, ça devrait être bon cette fois. Et si c'est pas bon, tant pis. Donc, on reprend nos aventures où qu'on en était. Je ne sais plus où qu'on en était. Je vais fermer ça et ça.
A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven.
Très loin, dans les montagnes lointaines. Ah, le petit clin d'œil
Grey
est sympa.
Wolf was a Chiricahua
Donc, on
Apache
cherche Grey
medicine
Wolf.
man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death.
Petite promenade en montagne pour compliquer. C'est beau les chutes d'eau comme ça tombe de vachement haut quand même. Ouais,
Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move.
c'est un loup.
He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him.
Par où dois-je aller? Par où dois-je aller? J'ai pas confiance dans ce pont. Ici c'est un cul-de-sac. Faut passer dans le pont, sur le pont, pardon.
They saw me before I saw them.
Oula.
And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down.
Oula. Je l'avais pas vu. C'est quoi ça? Carabine, elle me semble pas trop mal. C'est la pépite. Les indices pour dire que vous êtes à côté d'une pépite, ils se pointent au moment où... Enfin, ça sert à rien en fait. On les voit quand on voit la pépite en fait.
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated.
Sérieux, j'ai pas les yeux en face du trou là. Ouais, j'ai pas
I
eu...
admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
Ah non, je m'en doutais que j'allais mourir. Vous êtes décédé. C'est vrai que j'ai le A qui est actif et je m'en sers pas. C'est un peu dommage.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
C'est quoi ces montagnes qui bougent là? J'ai pas fait attention. Bon, l'important c'est de les avoir. Hein.
A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you went in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
Tout. Fouiller les grottes et trouver... Wow, il y a du monde là. Non mais sérieusement? Non, raté. Ah. Un tir en pleine tête est généralement fatal. Je crois qu'il y a un mode, ouais, il y a un mode réaliste ou survivant ou je sais pas quoi là qui fait que genre, parce que là finalement j'en prends quand même pas mal des pas dans la toile. Et il y a un mode qui fait que si c'est un peu caillou ça. Si moi j'en prends une balle en pleine tête, je meurs. Je crois. C'est le mode. En fait, c'est pas. Je vais pas dire que c'est le mode une vie, tu vois, mais. Oh là là. J'étais là, et ils étaient pas là.
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
Je ne sais pas du tout où ils peuvent être. Regarde, une pépite est proche, tu vois, enfin si je l'avais pas vu là. Niveau supérieur. Ça c'est quoi? Martelet pour recharger plus vite. Alors. Ça je m'en sers tellement jamais. Arme légendaire déverrouillée, 6 shooters incrustés. Derrière c'est dehors avec Guichard, c'est surtout un véritable chef-d'œuvre. Alors attends. Je me souviens plus c'est quoi la touche pour... Ah d'accord. Je sais pas si on les garde d'une partie sur l'autre. Ce serait un peu trop simple. C'est bien par là. Je suis un peu perdu, c'est tout.
How big was this cave? Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars. They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
Oh,
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
J'ai failli me planter. Et merde. Ça c'est con, mais je vais essayer de le faire bien maintenant, parce que c'est quand même mieux. C'est pas très grave. Yes. Bizarrement là. Yes. Et Z. Mais en lui tirant dessus, ça aurait été mieux quand même tout de suite. Alors,
How come you know so much about
c'est bien
it?
que j'en avais vu un.
A few years back, I was married to 2 Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the cave of death.
Je suis pas de tout ce qu'il raconte du coup. Et hop, une pépite de vérité, elle est devant ton nez. Lui c'est le personnage dans Call of Juarez 2. C'est con, je pense que j'aurais pas la dernière, j'aurais bien aimé. Je sais pas si on peut refaire une sélection des chapitres qu'on a fini.
I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind,
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if I had no tears.
he said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
Ils ont des
I didn't
armes.
quite get what he was
Comment ça se
saying,
passe?
but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
Pas rester hein. Ah là 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 là. Il va falloir trouver une solution à ça. J'ai pas un raccourci pour jeter de la dynamite. J'ai comme grenade de dynamite.
I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle.
J'adore ces trucs à la con.
I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo's right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady. Steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches around me.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
Ça sera plus mieux. Waouh! Attends, j'ai un point de truc à... Voilà, ça me donne ça. Visez les cibles plus rapidement, vous visez 30% plus vite. Prendre le pistolet là. C'est mort.
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before.
Ouais, ouais. Bon, on va quand même faire ça.
I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air.
Et on l'a pas arrêté.
Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty.
C'est con, une pépite de vérité qui me manque.
Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand.
Épisode 6. Dalton Brothers. Ah, ça va être trop bien, on va croiser les frères Dalton.
Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of the right?
I did my best, sir. We all did.
Silas. Il est pas dans un précédent Call of Duty. Faudrait que je regarde un peu ce... J'ai fait le tout premier. Et bon, il était pas mal, mais il était un peu bidon. Enfin, je sais pas quoi. Je me souviens pas trop. Et par contre, j'ai pas fait le 2 du tout.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob two banks at the same time. Two banks on the same damn street.
Non mais t'as vu le truc qui était derrière moi, je crois que j'ai pas vu
l'indice. Was always riding him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeeville just to shut her up. Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
got us a hero. Put some holes in him.
Les Dalton, ils étaient que 4 hein, normalement.
You're dead.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait till some of the bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns.
Je vois pas ce que je peux
He
faire.
went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Mais...
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett, who died defending the
That
Alamo.
Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch!
Murderer, qui dit. Moi qui suis juste un enfant de la loi. Une pépite de vérité est proche. Alors là, celui-là elle sert parce que je ne vois pas où elle est. Elle est dans le coffre, évidemment.
Over there!
Merde.
That's Silas Greaves! What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons.
Laisse à faire pareil.
His name?
Silas Graves.
And when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
J'en étais sûr. Et là, on va voir la vraie version de Silas.
It was early evening, not high noon. I was late to the party and Coffeyville was already up in arms. The Daltons blew up a safe and were all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
Tous ressemblables avec leurs cousins. Et toute ressemblance avec leurs cousins est purement fortuite. Ah oui, les cousins des Dalton, c'est dans Lucky Luke.
I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. Finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeyville.
Oh putain. J'aime bien la musique.
Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe.
Pas à voir où est-ce
They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those two families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all those feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once.
cool. J'ai pas tout ce qu'il raconte, c'est quoi. Autant les trucs un peu qui ont été faits pour le jeu, j'en ai un peu rien à foutre. Enfin, c'est façon de parler. Là, j'aimerais bien savoir ce qu'il raconte en fait sur les frères. Putain, sérieux.
There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeeville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
Pépite. Yes. Toutes les pépites de ce niveau, c'est cool. Les Dalton As, ça doit être trop... Elle doit être intéressante celle-là en plus. Chasseur de tête. Grenade, explosion dynamite, non ça. Chasseur de tête. En fait, j'aurais pu courir jusqu'ici pour les surprendre tous dans la maison.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least two of them to escape. The third brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
Ils avaient des plan B pour leur plan B.
It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Reeves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. And I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
Like a redheaded stepchild.
Ah, il est chaud, Emmett. Ah, j'avais qu'une dynamite. Oui, je veux bien. Comme ça. T'en prends pas? La friponne, y'en a encore? Hein? Ou je vous défends. Ah, il va me tuer, mec, là. Putain, sérieux. Pardon. Bon, vu qu'on est sur un truc bien on va regarder un petit truc avant. Pépite de vérité sur les Dalton, j'ai trop envie de la voir. Alors ça c'est la vraie photo de eux morts. Avant de dessiner le bandit les plus comiques de l'Ouest dans certaines bandes dessinées franco-belges, le nom Dalton faisait référence à des frères autrement plus violents, partageant d'ailleurs un lien de parenté avec le célèbre Younger. C'est au cours des années 1890 que trois d'entre eux, Gratton, Bob et Emmett, donc ils étaient trois, ils étaient pas quatre, pourquoi ils sont quatre là, délaissent le métier peu gratifiant de marshal pour former un gang. Ils étaient marshal, c'est ce que je disais. Et se consacrer au vol de banques et de trains, autrement plus lucratif. L'un de ces vols se solde par l'arrestation de Gratt qui, à la stupéfaction de ses gardiens, s'échappe du train en marche se conduisant en prison. Après avoir volé la caisse des chaînes à un garde assoupi, il saute par la fenêtre avant que le train traverse un pont au-dessus d'un fleuve. Les Dalton n'ont pas toujours eu la même chance. Désireux de surpasser tous les exploits de Jesse James, Bob suggère un plan d'une audace stupéfiante, dévaliser deux banques simultanément en plein jour. C'est ainsi que le 5 octobre 1892, du coup, au cours des années 1890, ça fait 2 ans en fait, les frères... les frères regagnent Coffeyville, leur ville natale. Astucieusement déguisés, le visage dissimulé sous les barbes postiches, ils tentent ce qu'aucun bandit n'est parvenu à faire jusque-là. Ce coup d'éclat sera un désastre sur toute la ligne par les frères et leurs camarades. Bob y trouve la mort, son frère Emmett survit miraculeusement à ses 23 blessures et est carcéré puis gracié. Mort en 1937 à Hollywood après une médiocre carrière d'acteur, d'auteur et d'agent immobilier. C'est quoi cette photo alors? Faut vraiment que je regarde parce que il me semblait que c'était la photo des Dalton morts après leur braquage. Et en plus c'est un mental. Bravo Bob. The kid. It's a kid of America. C'est intéressant. Ah, il a vraiment existé. En réalité, aucun grand sachem du nom de Grehoff n'est passé à la postérité. Il a eu bien un personnage ainsi nommé, mais c'est un officier de l'US Army. Ah, putain, pardon. Coffee. Juarez. Allez, on va mourir. Ah, j'ai trouvé comment faire. Merci. Aïe aïe aïe. Yes.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery
Oui,
in
c'est ce qu'on vient de
Coffeyville.
lire.
He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23
24.
times.
Well, Dwight, who do
Qu'il a
you
trouvé
think
plomb,
put
à ton
all
avis?
those damn
Bah ouais.
holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
Continue à l'appeler chasseur. Au fil des ans, Silas est devenu un célèbre chasseur de primes. Sa principale ambition restait pourtant... Silas.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this!
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
Ils sont morts dans la ville, ils sont pas morts à l'extérieur de la ville, du coup, de ce qu'on avait vu, je sais pas. Alors ça, c'est des explosifs.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks.
Non, ça a pas l'air d'être par là.
It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color. Red as blood.
J'adore. Au fait, j'avais oublié, le brouillard et le marée partout pour un
Rains that year were torrential,
pour cette mission.
so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Là, faut suivre les armes. Ben voilà.
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm. So I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
C'est n'importe quoi. Je l'ai eu en pleine course, j'aurais pu avoir au moins 100 points là.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
La musique elle est quand même excellente.
Point being, I was under serious attack. And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Oh putain. Je peux gagner un point d'expérience. Je sais pas combien je peux gagner de points au total. Je sais pas si je peux débrouiller les 3 armes. Je pense pas, j'ai pas l'impression. Je sais pas si j'ai bien fait avec ma dynamite là. Hop. Allez, heureux.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view.
J'adore.
But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them. That goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon
Pas très attentif, Steve.
Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Les Indiens?
Indians?
They were Indians.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Du coup, je vais avoir les 3 frères Dalton. Je vais avoir 3 chapitres avec à la fois la mort d'un des frères Dalton.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, sauvage!
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. Kansans breed like rabbits. Or Smiths, or Lime Hoppers, or who knows
J'en étais
what.
sûr. Ils m'ont renvoyé ma dynamite, on dirait.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, sauvage! There he is!
Merde.
But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Bordel dans ce cimetière. Bordel. Ouh. Ils ont pas de talon d'Achille. C'est quoi ça? Ah si. Je vois pas où il est ce truc. Attendez. Wow.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
Elle est trop grande cette carte, sérieux, pour les pupilles de vérité ça va être la merde.
And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat? In a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Yes, it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high, and those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found.
Ah, j'ai merde, voilà. C'est exactement ça.
But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Mais... Qui sont... J'en ai raté quelques-uns, je crois. Oups. J'ai des ennemis derrière moi, un truc de dynamite, ouais. Exécution des ennemis proches. Ça c'est pas mal ça. Petite pépite pas loin. Non. Aïe 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 aïe. Bah, pourquoi il a sauté lui?
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
Merde. Oh, voilà. Pépite de vérité, on a dit ici. Bureau, bateau à vapeur, bureau à vapeur, n'importe quoi. À quoi ça servirait? Ah! Bah, elle est où celle-là? Au-dessus peut-être. Je vais fouiller ce bateau. Waouh! Là je vois rien. Pas rater cette pépite.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Et ouais, elle était là. La mitrailleuse Gatling. Oh. J'ai un peu peur là. Ammunition. Ils ont juste du mauvais côté de l'échelle. J'espère que en fait les pépites de vérité elle reste d'une partie à une autre, tu vois. Genre après je vais le refaire en survivant. Ah, c'est un
Right
copain.
about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck,
Voilà.
pointing me
Il était là
directly
avant
at
que
the
j'arrive, hein, ça c'est
Daltons.
sûr et certain.
I finally had him, after months of dogged pursuit. It turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you
Oh, la
to
milice elle est
hell.
avec eux. Quelle surprise. Ils avaient des chapeaux et des foulards rouges comme eux.
The Daltons had played
Not
me
so
like a
tough
fiddle.
after all, is it?
Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Oh, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
We're talking about the Titanic.
Comment je peux ne
You
pas
ask me,
brûler
it's too
autant, quoi.
blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid,
The
Steve. They
Titanic?
know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
Ah, c'est avant le naufrage du Titanic, ça c'est cool. J'avais pas déjà pris ça?
oh God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Breeze?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Ah non, j'ai perdu mon combo. Je vais l'avoir.
Bob and Grat weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident
Voilà.
that this time the odds were on their side.
Mais sérieux, les duels c'est la mort. Je ne peux pas y arriver, jamais. Ils sont deux en plus, qu'est-ce que tu veux que je fasse? Je vais forcément le faire de manière déloyale. Ah, sérieux? Je comprends pas. Olé. C'est la mort les duels, sérieux, je galère. Vous devez réagir en 0 secondes. Restez focalisé sur l'ennemi. Bah ouais, tu m'étonnes. Je comprends pas en fait comment ils font pour tirer aussi vite.
Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Je vais jamais y arriver. L'autre c'est le petit, il tire d'abord.
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later. He moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers.
Ouais, j'aurais pas cru. Mais je sais pas qu'est-ce qui a changé par rapport aux autres.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
Wild Bud, Juarez, 1868.
It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Bunch, c'est horde. Des rails sur la prairie. Mené par Butch Cassidy et Sudenskin, le Wild Bunch, la horde sauvage était... Ah oui. Il n'a pas la chasse sauvage, on cherche la chasse sauvage.
Ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains.
Pour chasser la
Led by
Wild
Butch Cassidy. They were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God, I figured right.
c'était cool comme ça.
They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop.
Ouais. Si on veut.
Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. So I had no choice but to make my way up through the passenger cars dangling down. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Truc qui est tombé, ça me rappelle. Enfin, Uncharted 2. Faut que je le finisse aussi celui-là. Et que je refasse le 1. Et puis faire le 3 un jour et le 4. Celui-là, je ne fais pas en streaming. À moins de streamer. Enfin, en brin. À moins d'émuler, enfin de récupérer la PS4 sur le PC. Mais...
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
Ok, le mec il se ramène, il trouve un truc pour exploser de la dynamite. Et bah oui, ah j'ai dû faire non la dernière fois. Ah, il n'y a pas besoin de tout choper pour avoir l'arme légendaire. C'est bon à savoir ça. Quand même les
My
prendre.
ears are still ringing from blowing up that bridge. What'd you say? I can't hear a goddamn thing.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there.
Bah, je suis sûr que si je me serais approché, pardon, il m'aurait tiré dessus, ouais. On peut se faire une ambiance Far West, hein, sinon il y a aussi le Desperados en tactique sur PC, là, le... un pépé d'or. Bah, où veux-tu qu'elle soit, là, franchement? Where is it? Where is it? Les Desperados, j'ai les deux premiers. Après... Bon, je pense que je peux pas y aller. Après, bon... il va
My
se
ears
passer...
are still ringing from blowing up that bridge. What'd you say? I can't hear a goddamn thing. That silence screams. What the hell?
Et je ne comprends pas trop bien. Ça va me faire la même chose là? Ok, je dois faire quoi? C'est quoi déjà qu'on fait pour avoir l'objectif? Moi je vais ça. Je dois faire un boucan d'enfer cette arme. C'est pas ça que je voulais. O. Tout simplement O comme objectif. Atteindre le parapet du pont. Ah d'accord. Sauter sur le... Ah oui d'accord, mais attends, d'abord là-bas il y a une putain de pépite. C'est parce qu'en fait je m'éloignais de ce truc. Et elle est où ces pépites? La pépite de vérité ici là. Ça me saoulait. Je suis sûr qu'elle est là-dessus, là-haut. Comment je fais pour y aller? Bon, tant pis. Ah, par là, peut-être. La musique est trop cool. Je suis sûr que la pépite est là-haut. Alors pour y aller, bon, attends.
Jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Now you're really pissing me off.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day. As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could. Times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Woo! Dommage, j'en aurais raté un. Ça a ouvert la porte du wagon d'à côté. C'est parce que c'est le wagon d'à côté qu'il faut que j'aille. Est-ce que c'est français? I didn't understood. Non, c'est bon, c'est celui-là qui était coincé. Ah, d'accord, j'avance. Éliminer les braqueurs et trouver Bob. Ah, voilà.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You mean
hand.
like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Butch Cassidy. Faut vraiment que je regarde. Il n'y a pas un film genre Butch Cassidy,
Help?
Kid ou je sais pas quoi.
From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that?
Easy busy.
Retreat! Retreat!
C'était pour être sûr.
He's killing everybody! You ain't seen nothing. They'll kill us all! What? You ready for a belly full of buckshot?
Ah mais... N'importe quoi. Je vais lancer une dynamite.
You ain't seen the likes of me.
Je suis sûr que c'était la meilleure idée du monde. Un train à flanc de montagne sur le point de... Il y avait une pépite de vérité quelque part, tu m'as dit. Ça, j'aurais juste raté la... Salut ce machin. Ah, elle est là.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail. Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nose Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
Un jour, je vais y arriver. Ah, mais je peux esquiver les balles, au fait. J'ai même pas cliqué sur ce qu'il fallait. Ah, pourquoi j'appuie sur espace? Qu'est-ce que je fais? Je me souviens plus comment ils sont les duels dans Red Dead, mais ils semblaient plus faciles de mémoire. Je sens nul.
On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
1h30 pour l'enfer. Alors ça c'est le dernier train pour Yuma.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
Du coup, s'il parle du Titanic, ça doit passer du coup en 1912. Juste avant. Le truc, enfin, quand il raconte l'histoire. Quand l'histoire se passe, ce qu'il raconte, par contre, ça a l'air de se passer, voilà, on a vu une vingtaine d'années avant.
Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado.
Who's shooting?
Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down. Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Damn. Une pépite. Traîne dans le coin. Butch Cassidy. Ah, raté.
And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports. Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the Wild Bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Don't you blow us up now. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
Je suis sur un pont. qui est chargé de dynamite. Et qu'est-ce que je fais? Je tire dans les explosifs. Ah non, ça c'est nul. Apprendre à vérifier les munitions avant de...
So, what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
Me off.
C'est marrant ce petit passage.
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Vraiment, faut que je fasse gaffe à mes munitions.
Yes, just wanna die. Had enough?
So I proceeded onward and realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward.
Donc là. Kid Curry. Black Bart. Butch Cassidy. Il a jamais prouvé sans l'ombre d'un doute que les deux cadavres d'Amérique étaient bien ceux de Cassidy et Sundance. Une version d'histoire veut que Cassidy soit revenu aux États-Unis sous un pseudonyme où il a vécu jusqu'en 1936. La légende de ces deux hommes survécus. Ouais. Comment il recharge? Je trouve pas. Par où je dois aller? J'ai l'impression qu'il saute pas bien. Hein.
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it. The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment. Whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge. Well, it was a touching reunion.
Oui, on s'en fout. Alors, where is the pépite? Where is peut-être l'être? Elle est là. Elle est là. Voilà. On en fera qu'une aussi ici.
But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass, as I was not a young man anymore.
Ça peut pas tenir des bouts de bois comme ça. Ouf.
Kill that SOB! Make him bleed! Send him to perdition!
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Hey, Stracer, get dirty, ass me! Dirtier than a damn fruitcake! How the heck?
Aïe 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 aïe. Deuxième l'axe, compétence sixième sens permet d'atteindre 100% de précision en concentration. Ah ouais? Oh, je vais crever. On va éviter.
Who the hell is that guy? Hey, Stracer, get curry, ass me! Nuttier than a damn fruitcake!
C'est chaud ce passage, hein. Sérieusement. Wow. Est-ce qu'on va y arriver un jour? Ah ouais, il y a lui, j'avais oublié lui. Ah non! Ils ont l'air bien meilleurs ceux-là.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Kid Curry, ça me dit quelque chose aussi ce nom.
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
Hold him off while I reload.
Pépite.
The last mistake you'll ever make. Enough.
Bon, il faut que je trouve un moyen de m'approcher de ça. Attendez, je reviens. Donc, il faut que je trouve un moyen d'approcher de la Gatling assez près pour y lancer une dynamite, sachant qu'il y a une pépite juste par curiosité. C'était nul, hein, c'était pour du beurre. Oh, chat!
Get out of here, you coward! Time for you to lay down and die.
Je vais jamais réussir à lancer une dynamite sur la barre.
Mistake you'll ever make. Yeah! I think he's scared. You can't beat these. Damn! That smells like a game. Are you scared, damn it? I need some help here.
Ah non, ici... ah, mais c'est pour ça que je saute en fait, c'est parce que tu... Oula. Tu te roules la tête sur mon clavier. Il a une armure, Easy, s'il te plaît. Mais comment je fais? Bon, arrête de sauter sur mon clavier.
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Galère à chaque fois. Ici, mais sérieusement. Mais oui, t'es chiante. J'ai en 0,350 secondes. Ces duels vont me rendre chèvre. don't understood. J'ai l'impression qu'en fait à chaque fois que je gagne c'est un coup de chance. Mais non! Comment j'ai pu ne pas gagner? Je crois que j'arrive à comprendre un petit peu le truc, mais alors c'est chaud hein. On voit pas lui à combien il est de précision et tout ça. En fait faut que j'arrive à comprendre dans quel moment il va... Faut pas... Si j'attends qu'il est dégainé, c'est trop tard. Faut que je dégaine en même temps que lui, voire juste avant, et j'arrive pas à trouver ce petit mouvement de main qui fait que, en plus quand je regarde la focalisation et la vitesse, voilà, voilà. Voilà, largement trop tard. Tiens, on doit passer tellement de temps sur ces duels à la con.
Yes. He was. I was just a bit faster.
T'es un déloyal, mais j'ai dégainé juste. Ah oui, c'est normal, une voix dégainée.
As he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him. Those were his last words.
C'est pas moi qui ai tiré.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kinda glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Jesse James, ça c'est cool.
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
Ouais, je fais ce dernier chapitre et puis j'arrête là.
I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this gem.
That's right. Run!
Ready for a butt shot? Just brought hell. It's time to handle it.
Il est chaud lui quand même.
Kill that missing!
Now wait a second. Now, how'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
J'avais pas espoir que ce soit un chapitre rapide. Bah non. On dit qu'il pouvait arrêter les trains rien qu'en les regardant. D'un simple regard. Allez, j'en étais sûr.
They hopped a freight train having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So, I hopped the same train. The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head.
Quel gros con. Mort par le train. Bon, elle est sûrement à l'intérieur.
Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I reached
James
that.
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Bah, si ouvert la
Everyone
trappe, elle
knows
peut
they
pas
were the most
descendre.
famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well,
Yes,
maybe you
yes.
need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Les musiques sont cool.
This asshole don't know who he's God damn you!
Yes.
Anyway, excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you.
Ah, il est parti, puis j'ai pas lu ce qu'il allait faire. J'ai demandé pour aller pisser ou boire un coup, c'est ça?
heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
C'est toujours le même wagon.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But you
bar.
seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Starr? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof. At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's a damn Pinkerton!" Now, I never worked for that lying cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. So it's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember.
I bet you are.
Ding, 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 ding. Il est sérieux lui. Aïe. C'est beau ça, non?
Across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward. I wondered if I was ever going to find the front of that train.
Oh,
or
no.
the bastard I was after. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here.
Il était loin lui avec ses Gatling. Hein. Oh mince. Regardez, et là j'ai quoi?
I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way. And that included Jesse James himself. There sure were a lot of men determined to die that day. It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train.
Hey!
I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
Comment je passe là sans brûler?
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you. Yeah, I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle.
Je crois que je commence à comprendre les trucs de duel là. Aïe aïe aïe. Je regarde un truc. Ah maintenant je peux regarder là, moi je suis bête. Croyez-vous aux fantômes? Allez, allez, allez. À moins que je l'ai là. J'aimerais juste voir pourquoi tu me fais ça, toi. 1h30 pour l'enfer. Attendez. La mort était du voyage ineffaçable. Ah mais il me reste que 2 chapitres à faire. Bon bah je vais les finir, attends, je vais pas...
After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch Jim.
Je pense que ça me prend pas trop de temps. Après,
I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. The perfect place to hide out from the authorities. In fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the res and were hiding out from the military found me first. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout and didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Indians?
It could have been Cheyenne, but there was all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape.
Et voilà.
Hey, how about another whiskey, Ben? Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul. Now, where was I? Indians, right. I had more than my share of run-ins with the Redmen. Like that time, did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir. You did.
Ah, of course I did. In fact, I can still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again?
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul. You will come to this place again and kill many more men.
Voilà. Mais j'arrive pas à l'avoir lui.
And the darkness will grow until it consumes everything you are.
Ah c'est le truc. Ah oui, bah, je le
So, did you ever find it?
Ah mais...
The man you are after.
Let me ask you something, Ben. You ever think
Oh, c'est
about
bon, 11.
death?
Je vais en faire au moins 12.
Mr. Greaves, are you all right?
Oh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see with ice cold hands taking hold of me? Well, I am death, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh, death, won't you spare me over till another year?
So are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find him?
Reed was indeed that son-bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me. Nothing.
Frank James. Le frère de Jesse James.
I finally did track those outlaws down. They had long rifles with scopes and were well positioned to pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close.
Attends. Alors, comment éviter les tirs des snipers?
I'm guessing Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well. He backed off as I closed in on him, but he was still intent on killing me. And when I closed in on him again, he backed off again, looking for a better angle on me.
Non, je veux pas ça. Ah, je peux pas rechanger. Qu'est-ce que j'ai foutu? Merde.
Hell, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Greaves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
I think you were just looking for justice, sir.
Is that what I was looking for, Dwight? Is that what it was? Justice?
Isn't that why you were hunting the James gang?
The James gang. Right.
Mince.
I finally found Frank holed up in his mountain cabin, and he was determined to have me dead. It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite? On your person?
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them, Jack.
That son of a bitch! Take him out, or he's just one man!
That old shack? Well, it went tumbling right off that cliff.
With Frank James still in it?
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I?
Oula. Il va revenir.
I'm done with this damnable outlaw life. Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will. At this point, I just don't give a shit.
I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else.
You want Reed? Have at him. I never did like that bastard. I am done here.
We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill.
Elles sont cachées comme du caca des fois.
So what happened with Reed?
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave.
So what happened with Reed?
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave. First, I had to dispatch the lookouts. I was determined not to let that murderer escape my revenge again. But rather than wander in willy-nilly, I decided it would be better to smoke that sumbitch out. Hey, Reed! I shouted. No wonder you're so ornery. Can't be easy being married to Belle Starr. While you're off providing for the family, she's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly. At least she was to me.
Son of a bitch!
It was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Why won't this asshole give up? Will someone please kill him?
Je sens que ça va être galère.
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him?
Mais non, mais pourquoi il est pas mort lui? Ah oui, c'est vrai que c'est lui qui tortille là.
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him?
Eventually, it was just me and Reed.
Et un duel. Voilà, j'ai un peu compris comment ça fonctionnait. Donc,
I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers.
J'ai compris, mais c'est pas pour ça que je vais y arriver facilement. Ah non, vas-y, j'étais bon là. Jesse James, j'ai réussi à le faire easy busy quoi. Et là, galère quoi. Il doit y avoir un truc qui fait qu'on va voir quand est-ce qu'ils vont dégainer.
And repay him I did.
Tant pis que ce soit déloyal, le but c'est quand même de les tuer quoi. J'ai envie d'en finir un peu. Allez, dernier niveau.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame you never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that, I did have one more chance at him. Six months ago, I heard that Butch and Sundance were back in the States and had gathered up some of their old gang. I tracked them down, hoping that Roscoe Bob Bryant had returned with them.
So you're saying they didn't die down in Bolivia?
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I say.
"40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now. Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Bryant, that son of a bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
For all you know, he could have been dead.
That thought had indeed crossed my mind, as did others. For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. I was furious as hell at that bastard for making me who I am. A man with no family, no friends, no purpose except shooting Bob Bryant dead. Nothing could stop me from taking his life. stop me from taking his life.
Je sais pas si c'est un des deux là.
Stop me from taking his life. Been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly it was 1910. There I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades.
Elle est où la pépite? Bon, j'en sais rien, tant pis.
Just like me.
Je sais pas où je dois aller là. Par là.
But I wasn't about to call it quits. Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in a grave of a dead amigo. I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was onto them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had.
Obviously prevailed since you said you
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack.
What?
Because when I woke up...
From the dead?
There was silence all around me. I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy the Kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here and there, and even over there.
So I am right. You are touched in the head.
Mr. Graves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer. Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me guns a-blazing. But I knew that old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past.
Bon.
saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me.
Ah, ça va me saouler ça, sérieux.
In the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Hardin, just like I remember.
Ah. Les morts me tuent. Le mec il pète un câble en vrai. Fantôme. Je sais pas comment je vais faire. J'ai pas envie de rester coincé là. Allez, ça craint du boudin. Qui est-ce qui me tire dessus? Il tire à... Ah, mais il tire à travers les murs ou quoi? C'est quoi cette histoire là? Voilà. Putain, sérieux. Pas envie de... Sinon je vais faire un tout stream de rien du tout pour finir ce truc là. J'arrive même pas aux portes du cimetière. On va y aller méticuleusement, ça sert à rien d'y aller comme un gros bourrin là.
In the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Hardin, just like I remember. Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun. But no ghost army was stopping me.
My father-in-law got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking to dogs.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
Écarté de l'histoire, ok.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed, each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy. Thought?
Ouah, c'est chaud sa mère.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed, each one deader than the next.
Ah mais ils sont partout, c'est chaud. Je sais pas comment je vais faire pour eux.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed, each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy. Thought?
Attends. sais pas comment faire pour eux, ils viennent de tellement tout partout.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed. Each one deader than the next.
Non! Ah, j'y étais presque.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed. Each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy. Thought. Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh.
The Sundance Kid?
Like a general leading his legion of the dead.
You told us before that you seem alive.
He was alive.
Woof! Là, on va se retrouver comme... Non! Donc il tire 2 coups et après il recharge. Donc il faut juste que je résiste 2 coups et après je tire dessus. Non! Bon. On va y arriver, faut y croire. Putain, ça dure beaucoup trop longtemps ce truc. Est-ce que avec mes... Ah punaise. Bon, ça progresse, hein. Mais bon, c'est pas top.
Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh.
The Sundance Kid?
Like a general leading his legion of the dead.
You told us before that you'd seen him alive.
He was alive.
Oh, j'ai mal compté. C'est pas... Eh, sérieux? Yes!
Then I heard a voice call to me from afar. It was Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, coming at me from out of the fog.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
Butch Cassidy. Sudden Skill. Silas Webb. Le bon, la brute et le mourant. J'adore. Allez, on se finit ça vite fait. Petit duel là.
But the kid wasn't quite deceased. Not
Un
yet.
triel du coup.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos.
Shit. I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill you.
You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first.
I asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life?
You frittered it all away, Butch. Eda's mine. So is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question, but those boys didn't give me much of a choice.
Alors là, ça va être compliqué. Dans un duel à 3, utilisez A et E pour vous focaliser sur l'ennemi qui vous regarde. Ça va être compliqué. Allez, descends. On va y arriver. Quoi? J'ai pas compris. Allez, mais à chaque fois je regarde pas le bon. Comment ça se fait ça? Oh, je pense que je vais en repasser. Je vais repasser 10 minutes dessus là, j'espère pas quand même. En plus, j'arrive pas à gérer les 3 trucs en même temps. Là je regardais le bon. Pas compris. Non mais j'avais 100% de vitesse quoi. J'ai même pas dégainé. Comment je fais pour... Ah! Je suis trop bête! Ah non! Je croyais que je l'avais eu. Mais ça, du coup, j'ai compris le truc. Mais non!
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid died there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
C'était pas trop ça qu'il fallait faire. Épilogue.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob?
There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I've changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
Ah, et c'est là qu'on choisit qu'est-ce qu'on fait. Vengeance!
Why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Here. I won't have it said that I left you with nothing.
That's how you want it? So be it.
Ah, ça fait un duel par contre.
Holy shit!
Molly, move against that wall. Go!
Pourquoi j'ai pas les...
Oh my god! Oh Jesus!
Je sais pas trop si je pouvais le perdre celui-là ou quoi.
Did you know it was him all along?
Cassidy told me Bob was in Abilene before he died. But I wasn't sure Ben was my man until he revealed how much he knew about Ringo and Reed. The coin, of course. Well, that was the last nail in that particular coffin.
I better go get the sheriff.
You okay, boy? You're looking mighty shook up.
Dwight, maybe you best go home. Young Eisenhower here is leaving for West Point tomorrow. He shouldn't get caught up in something like this.
I think I might head out myself at this juncture. Unless you want to stop me, Jack.
No, sir, Mr. Greaves.
So where you going now? Now that you had your revenge?
Doesn't really matter, does it? As I've sold my soul for it, and will never again walk with those I have lost.
Bah, c'était bien sympa. Voilà. Petit jeu vite fait. Pas très très long du coup. Attendez. 5 heures. Nouvelle partie plus disponible. Vous commencerez l'histoire en conservant toutes les compétences et armes d'armes. Ah, vous avez déverrouillé le nouveau authentique. Rejouez le mode histoire avec une interface minimale et une difficulté accrue. Ambiance western assurée. Ok, et du coup, alors c'est comment? Alors, nouvelle partie plus... Ah oui, et là, je peux rejouer les niveaux que je veux. Pour récupérer les pépites. Alors, je sais pas si une nouvelle partie plus, ça apporte quelque chose ou pas. Soit. Ah non, à chaque fois, je me fais avoir. C'est la deuxième fois, excusez-moi. Bon... Je vais quitter ça vite fait. Voilà. Bon. Ben, je vous remercie d'avoir regardé cette vidéo. Ouais, du coup ça va durer un peu longtemps, mais c'est pas très très grave. On se retrouve alors mardi prochain, non. Enfin, mardi non, parce que je ne suis pas dispo. Mais plus tard dans la semaine peut-être, je ne sais pas. Et sinon... Bah, le mardi d'après pour la suite de Crusader Kings 3 et sinon et après on verra ce que je peux faire à la place de ça. Voilà, allez, bonne fin de week-end et bon courage pour le boulot. Salut.